Hey there. Ready for a deep dive into something that's been on my mind lately? It's about youth sports, but maybe not in the way you'd expect.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. It's like we're navigating a whole new ball game these days with how much we're sharing online.
Right. It's like every game, every practice, it's all ending up on social media. But is that really the best thing for these young athletes? What about the kids behind those highlight reels?
Exactly. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a big win, but what about the long-term impact all that exposure might have? I mean, imagine how those kids might feel years from now, looking back on those awkward preteen sports moments splashed across the internet.
It's like, are we even asking if it's okay to share anymore? Or are we just thinking about how many likes a post will get?
It's a tough question to face, honestly. But we need to be mindful of the digital footprint we're creating for these kids. It's not just about embarrassing photos, it's about the pressure that comes with constant online scrutiny.
And research backs this up, right? I mean, there are studies linking this kind of pressure to increased anxiety and even depression in young athletes.
It's true. And that's not all. This intense focus on individual performance can actually be harmful to team dynamics too.
So instead of everyone celebrating each other's effort and growth, it becomes all about who's getting the most attention online.
Exactly. It creates this unhealthy level of competition within the team. And I think we risk losing sight of what makes youth sports so valuable in the first place.
Because it's not really about creating professional athletes, is it? It's about building those life skills like teamwork and resilience.
You got it. And research highlights all these incredible benefits of youth sports beyond the field.
Mm.
Things like responsibility, goal setting, empathy, communication. It's like a crash course in life skills.
And you know, it's interesting. It's not just researchers saying this. There are entire countries taking action to change the game.
Oh, absolutely. The Danish Sports Federation, for example, they're doing some really innovative things.
Okay, I got to hear about this. What's their approach?
Well, they've implemented something called the age-appropriate training concept. Basically, they're moving away from this overemphasis on results, especially for younger athletes.
So it's less about did you win and more about what did you learn today?
Exactly. They're encouraging this process-oriented approach, focusing on effort, sportsmanship, and celebrating those everyday victories that happen both on and off the field.
I love that. Putting the focus on the process, the little victories along the way. It's like we get so caught up in the highlight reel, but we forget about all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes, right?
Right. It reminds me of like those martial arts videos you see online, kids breaking boards and stuff. We see that final impressive moment,
Mhm.
but we don't see the years of dedication and practice that led up to it.
And it makes you wonder, with all this live streaming and instant sharing these days, are we doing these kids a disservice by putting so much of their journey out there for the world to see?
That's the question, isn't it? Are we really serving their best interests? I mean, I get it. It's great to connect with family and friends from afar and share those special moments. But where do we draw the line?
Yeah, because on the one hand, you've got the potential for some really awkward moments being broadcast for eternity. But even beyond that, are we inadvertently creating this culture of constant surveillance for kids? What's that teaching them about privacy and self-worth?
Exactly. And it brings up that important distinction between self-esteem and self-confidence.
Oh, that's a good one. I feel like those terms get thrown around interchangeably, but they're not quite the same thing, are they?
Not at all. Self-esteem is more about your inherent sense of worth as a person. It shouldn't depend on your accomplishments or what others think of you.
It's like knowing you have value just because you exist, regardless of your performance on the field, right?
Exactly. Self-confidence, on the other hand, is more about your belief in your ability to do something specific, like score a goal or nail a presentation.
Okay, so you could have a young athlete who's super confident in their skills on the field, but still struggle with low self-esteem off the field.
Absolutely. And that's why this constant focus on outcomes and external validation can be so detrimental, especially for kids. When their self-worth becomes tied to their performance, what happens when they have a bad game or, face a setback?
It can really shake their foundation, right? Make them question their value as a person, not just as an athlete.
Right. And that's why it's so important to help kids develop that solid sense of self-esteem that doesn't crumble when things get tough.
So how can we, as parents and coaches, foster that kind of unshakable self-worth in young athletes?
Well, for starters, we can shift our focus from outcomes to the process. Instead of just praising them for winning, let's acknowledge their effort, their sportsmanship, their teamwork.
So instead of "you were amazing, you scored the winning goal," it's more like, "Hey, I'm really proud of how hard you worked out there. You showed great sportsmanship and teamwork throughout the whole game."
Exactly. It's subtle, but it makes a huge difference. We need to help them see that their value comes from within, not from external validation.
It's like we're reframing the whole idea of success in youth sports,
Yeah.
moving away from trophies and likes and really focusing on those character building qualities.
Exactly. Resilience, integrity, perseverance, those are the things that matter, long after the final whistle blows.
It's funny, makes you wonder if we've got it all backwards. Like, what if instead of viewing youth sports as this platform for showcasing talent, we saw it more as a training ground for life?
Now you're talking. Imagine if we prioritized personal growth and a genuine love for the sport above all else.
And maybe, just maybe, by taking that pressure off, by letting kids just enjoy the process, we might actually see their talent blossom even more.
I think you're onto something. When kids are free to experiment, to make mistakes, to just have fun, that's when the real magic happens.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener, honestly. It's like sometimes the best thing we can do as parents and coaches is to just cheer from the sidelines, celebrate the effort, and let those kids know we're proud of them, win or lose.
Couldn't agree more. Let's encourage a love for the game, a passion for pushing boundaries, and above all, a deep respect for these amazing young athletes.
So next time you're at a youth sporting event, take a moment to really appreciate the dedication, the sportsmanship, the sheer joy of it all. You might be surprised by the incredible lessons unfolding right in front of you. And hey, maybe put the phone down every now and then and just soak it all in. That's it for today's deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.